is everyone today? I hope your week's going well. This is Emma Welch, aka Lishabelle, and I am back for my second YouTube video in which I still don't know what I'm doing. So thank you for bearing with me. Um, on that note, apologies for any background noises. I recorded the first video at night, and I did try to record this last night, but the audio is just not working, so that's okay. If you hear any bangs or other noises, that's just how it's gonna be. Because I just don't have time to go back and edit these things, so apologies. But anyway, last video I just kind of rambled the whole time, and I'm not saying I won't do that this time, but I do have some important announcements and other things that I'm going to say. But to start out, I will go into my webcomic, which is not yet launched. It is an upcoming webcomic named Bloodknot, and the synopsis, let's see, I had it up a second ago. Okay. 17-year-old Luke has spent the years after his mother's death distracting himself with music, drawing, and sailing. When he stumbles upon the reason for a classmate's recent disappearance, will Luke be able to accept what he finds, and can he keep it a secret? Bloodknot is a character-driven, magical realism webcomic with elements of horror, adventure, and slice of life. Follow Luke and other characters on this folkloric coming-of-age journey. And the goal with this comic is to start it updating weekly. I will go more into that in a moment, but it's definitely going to be something that is updated every week. So the Bloodknot is my first webcomic. It is going to be a learning experience. I feel like I've already learned so much and it hasn't even launched yet. But it's just a story that I would have loved to see in middle and high school. It's something I would still completely enjoy today. And I'm just really excited to get it out there. It's very much a shorter story that I am using to learn. Just a place for me to make all my mistakes, you know. But I'm really excited because at the end of this, I will have a full volume of this story that is fully finished. And I do plan to print this. It's something that I have thought a lot about, and I just really wanted to have it in a print format when I created it in the first place, so it translated perfectly to a book that you can hold in your hands. So the big announcement is the launch of the webcomic. I have a date now. May 18th is the day that I will launch the comic, and I am going to launch it with the entire prologue on the first day. I may or may not throw extra, like above and beyond updates the rest of that week. I have not decided yet. But absolutely the prologue will be going up in its entirety first, and that is a total of 6 print. So that'll be pretty exciting. And so in that first week, you will get those 6 pages, and then at least another page from the beginning of the story itself. So at least the chapter cover. So you have a lot to look forward to on that week, and that is May 18th. I am planning on updating the comic every Tuesday and Friday to begin with. That's 2 times a week. I want to do more. My ideal would be to do this full time and have 4 updates a week. However, I'm going to have a part-time job very shortly, and therefore I will not have time to do this full time, and my health does come first. So I am the reason that I'm waiting until May 18th to launch the comic is because I have at the beginning of June I will be moving. I have a lot of family things going on around that time, but I'll be moving and finding a job, settling in. So I have a lot of really busy days ahead of me, and I'm building up my buffer right now. So hopefully I can at least carry through those days, that month, and come out the other side still totally on top of my schedule. I am going to be really serious about those update days. Um, so I'm pretty excited to get this going. I am going to be publishing it on my website instead of Webtoons or Tapas, at least for the time being. It's not because I have anything about against Webtoons or Tapas. I read comics on them all the time. I almost did the short story contest in 2020. Didn't, but I learned a lot. Um, and I just decided not to because of like a combination of many reasons. I'll probably make another video specifically talking about that, but bottom line is I do want to print it. I don't want it to be in the long strip format at first. Like, that is not the end goal for me. So that's big, and generally the long strip formats do perform better on Webtoons and Tapas. So it's something to keep in mind. And on top of that, I happen to have an account on Wix, something that I had already like subscribed to for a year or two. So it was for my portfolio website, so I decided to just butcher the portfolio website and completely reinvent it to be the bloodknotcomic.com website, and it's been quite a learning experience to get that up and running, but I think that it'll work out really well. So I'm really excited about it. Maybe one day in the future I'll also post it on Webtoons and Tapas, but um, I'm not ready to do that quite yet because that would take a lot of extra time, and my goal right now is just to get these pages out there. The comic is going to be, like I had mentioned before, it's not going to be a super, super long story. It's not going to be super short, but it will be like a solid single volume when it's all said and done. It will be about 200 pages. I'm sure the end result will be a bit off from that, but it will be close to 200 pages or like one volume worth of story. And then at that point, I will reevaluate things, well, leading up to that point, and I can either decide to commit to a slightly longer story and, just keep on going with my webcomic thing, or I can turn around and, maybe put that on the back burner, see if I can get a studio job or something again. But yeah, for now, I'm really excited about making webcomics and putting it out there. So we'll see what happens in like a year or two when everything is done. It will probably take a year or two to finish the story. Another reason I really wanted to self-publish on my own website, if possible, is because accessibility is important to me, and it's something that maybe long-term wouldn't work out or something, but I really want to give it my best shot. There are people out there who are vision impaired readers that really want to take part in webcomics, and I I just want everyone to be able to access it, vision impaired or not. So it's important to me that I at least try my very best to get this website up and running in such a way that screen readers can access it, so that people can use screen readers to basically read the webcomic, even if they're unable to see the art itself. It I don't have a whole lot of confidence in my own writing ability in terms of like it would kind of be prose, but you know, I'm going to do my very best shot and see how it goes. With the website, because I haven't made one before, and this is not coding. This is like a visual, using the visual builder that Wix provides, which has been incredible. I do fully kind of expect things to break, which is unfortunate, but considering everyone has different phones, different ratios of screens, I wouldn't be surprised if it just didn't work properly on certain people's devices. So once it launches and is supposed to not be breaking, I will have an email and would be incredibly thankful if anyone stumbles upon something that's broken to reach out to me about that. But until then, I do fully expect things to be broken, and I am doing my best to pull the website together as quickly as possible so I have fewer placeholder boxes of a random color and pages with no content on them. Especially this week, I'm really focusing on getting certain pages like the characters page, the about page, stuff like that to actually have meaningful content, because it's all been placeholder stuff for the moment. But I am working on that, so keep checking back in. And if you don't feel like checking back in, or you don't trust yourself to do so, then I do have this awesome newsletter that I've set up. You can easily sign up for it on the front page of the Bloodknot comic website, and I believe you get an email when you first sign up, but then you won't get another email until the comic launches. And once you're on that list, I won't be sending out emails all the time. Mostly I'll be sending out emails when the comic chapter begins. This is awesome if you only want to kind of binge read every single chapter as they come out instead of reading each page. So you can wait for the email saying that a new chapter is out and come and read the entire chapter all at once. So the newsletter is definitely going to be a tool in my toolbox and your toolbox to kind of keep up with Bloodknot as it progresses. So definitely go to the front page of the website and sign up for that if you're interested. Those are most of the important things I wanted to say. I know I'm still kind of a bit all over the place, so forgive me, but I did say the important stuff, so I'll be okay with that. With this YouTube channel, if you have any questions about anything, any part of my process that you see in the background that I don't address, or any other questions in general about the comic or whatnot, definitely feel free to ask, and either I'll answer in like the comments or I will make a whole new video about it. I am definitely learning about the content of these videos and what people want to see, what you guys want to see, so it's all a learning process. And I do eventually, once the comic has launched, want to come out with a video a week if possible, because I think that I would have a whole lot to address then. I have learned so many things already, and by then I expect to have learned many more things that I could just share. But it's at the moment it's kind of difficult because a lot of the art I'm doing are the pages. Like most of the art I'm doing is the pages themselves, or so with what I consider a spoiler, and I am not interested in sharing anything yet that would be a spoiler or redundant later on. So for the moment, I'll just upload when I have some random thing that doesn't spoil anything, like the background. So what's going on in the background? This is kind of a failed attempt to do a banner. It was really interesting actually, because it was a total failure of what I thought I was going to do in terms of the composition. I wanted to just make a piece that could be used as a banner for every single website because I want everything to be different eventually, but I don't have time right now. So I just wanted to make this one piece that took me about 3 hours, and I could just use this on Twitter and YouTube and, Patreon, everything to start with until I have time to make something unique for each of those sites. However, I just didn't plan it super well, so I had trouble getting it to look right on certain banners for like Twitter and whatnot. It just didn't look super great, and the worst one is I hadn't like really looked into YouTube's banner because they do their banner in a whole different way. It's like a really big picture, and then a small portion of the middle is what most people see on most devices. So this does not account for that in any way, shape, or form, which is okay. I got to learn from it. I have placeholders up now anyway, and I'll get to replace them as soon as I have time to do so. But this was a fun piece. Um, it's related to my story in that it's just an environment that would exist in the world, but it's not anything spoilery. It's nothing very specific, and was just a really fun little thing to whip up in three hours. I use Clip Studio Paint for everything at the moment. I also love Procreate, but I just haven't been using it for the comic. And I mostly use the G-Pen brush as well as brushes from Friendin's brush pack, which I'll link below. I really like some of his brushes, but for the record, I don't love the names he's given his brushes. A lot of them, I'm not a fan of the names. But two of the brushes that I use a lot are Nibble Dribble and Block in Beckett. The first one I use for like the panels to draw the textured panel borders in the comic itself, and then the Block and Beckett one is kind of a circle brush that is a little bit more painterly than the G-Pen, and that I use for just kind of everything else you see here. And yeah, so this piece was a valuable lesson, and just a lot of fun to make, a quick part of my afternoon, and hopefully I'll be able to replace some of the social media icons or banners shortly. But anyway, I definitely had a lot of fun talking about this stuff, but I do hope it made sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Sign up for that newsletter and subscribe if you want to see my content get better and better little by little. Thank you, and have a really good week. Bye.